The first one is the introduction of our video title proposal. This is the situation of our society nowadays. A lot of struggles in a lot of areas of our lives in terms of financial status, health aspect, and especially the work of every entrepreneur or workers of our country was damaged by the pandemic. Market vendors are one of the affected in this pandemic. They are being pruned by the sudden change of our society. They need to adapt, they need to take a firm stand in the midst of this pandemic. And we must know on how they cope up and survive during this trying season of our lives. The second one is the objectives of our title proposal. The first objective is to give information and further knowledge about our market vendors during the pandemic in Santa Ana, Pampanga. The second one is to feed up our curious minds on how the market vendors adopt the sudden change in our country and society. And lastly, the third one. This research will serve as a guide to give the society the data that we must know about our market vendors in Santa Ana, Pampanga. And the third one is the justification for choosing the title.
Justification for choosing the title. Tells or discuss about the reason for choosing this title. Life is a continuous battle to fight for. Life can be full of mysteries and even discoveries. Choosing this kind of topic will make an impact and a change of our perspective towards the market vendors, especially when pandemic came. We are unprepared, we are trapped with the kind of situation we're in. It was hopeless and everything seems to be broken and damaged by the sudden burden came in our life. Through others' experiences will give us a different side of the story.
The fourth one is the projected contribution of this research to the growth of knowledge.
Projected contributions to the growth of knowledge. This will discuss the benefits when we tackle this kind of research in a lot of aspects of our society. Why is this beneficial? This kind of topic is beneficial in a certain way that it will bring new lessons and stories of hope beyond the struggles we are experiencing. Lived experiences will give us the knowledge and actual events that will feed up our curious minds on what the pandemic brings towards the market vendors in our country, especially in a particular community, Santa Ana. How can this help the society, the school, the growth of knowledge? Society. This topic will help the society to fully understand the situation and struggles that our market vendors experienced, and to give the society a conclusion why some vendors really need to go an extra mile to earn. School. A research about lived experiences will give the students more understanding on how the market vendors endures the pain, struggles, as well as the hope they have in their lives. Growth of the knowledge. This research will give us a deeper understanding and knowledge of the experiences of every market vendor in Santa Ana, Pampanga on how pandemic changed the game of their lives.
The fifth one is the statement of the problem. statement of the problem. This study aims to identify the different life experiences of the market vendors in Santa Ana, Pampanga. The general question is, how does the pandemic affect the lives of the market vendors in Santa Ana, Pampanga? Specific questions. Number 1. How does the pandemic affect the income and salary of every market vendor? Number 2. How does the pandemic affect the sales of products of the market vendors in Santa Ana, Pampanga? Number 3. What life lessons does every market vendor gain during the pandemic? And lastly, how does the market vendors sustain resiliency in the midst of the pandemic in Santa Ana, Pampanga? And lastly is the insights. This pandemic causes a lot of damages in our lives, in our society, and as an individual. As an active citizen of our country and our community, we must be aware on what are the things occurring inside and outside of our country or community. It is the time to explore and get insights on others' experiences, on how they survive in this pandemic. Are you ready for another step of your exploration? Thank you for watching. This is Klein Cyrille F. Timbol from UMS 11 St. Gregory the Great.